As we await this whole thing to sort of wrap up and know that this defendant has been found guilty, perhaps on all 30 counts. Let's just stand by for the last count.
You know, it's interesting. Some people have talked during the week in different legal circles that they can pick and choose. Doesn't necessarily guarantee they're going to pick death penalty type counts here that would trigger that.
Right.
But clearly, the jury had it all in mind that this was going to be something that they were going to come back for down the road.
And guilty on all 30 counts. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, no longer the accused Boston Marathon bomber. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the Boston Marathon bomber, has now been found guilty on every single count that he faced. And let's go through them. Count 1, conspiracy use of weapons of mass destruction. Conspiracy death of Crystal Campbell. Conspiracy death of Sean Collier, Lindsay Liu, and Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 2, use of weapons of mass destruction at Marathon Sports, aiding and abetting, resulting in the death of Crystal Campbell, guilty.
Use of a firearm at Marathon Sports, aiding and abetting. Firearm was discharged, firearm was destructive device, and that's what caused Crystal Campbell's murder, guilty.
Count 4, use of weapon of mass destruction at Forum, aiding and abetting, resulting in the death of Lindsay Liu, resulting in the death of Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 5, use of a firearm. That's the pressure cooker bomb right there at the Forum. A firearm discharged, firearm as a destructive device, that causing the death of Lindsay Liu. That caused the death of Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 6, conspiracy, bomb, place of public use, causing the death of Crystal Campbell, the death of Officer Sean Collier, the death of Lindsay Liu, and the death of Martin Richard, guilty.
Count number 7, the Boston bombing public place, pressure cooker bomb number 1, resulting in the death of Crystal Campbell, guilty.
Count 8, defendant carried pressure cooker bomb number 1 during violent crime, firearm discharged, firearm destructive device, resulting in the death of Crystal Campbell, guilty.
Count 9, bombing of a public place, the Forum, the pressure cooker bomb, resulting in the death of Lindsay Liu and of Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 10, defendant carried pressure cooker bomb number 2 during violent crime, bomb of public place, firearm discharge, firearm destructive device, causing the death of Lindsay Liu and Martin Richard, guilty.
Count, where were you just then?
Count 11 now. Yep.
Count 11, conspiracy to maliciously destroy property resulting in the death of Crystal Campbell, Officer Collier, Lindsay Liu, resulting in the death of Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 12, malicious destruction of property with explosives, Marathon Sports, aiding and abetting, caused personal injury to at least one person, resulting in the death of Crystal Campbell, guilty.
Count 13, defendant carrying a pressure cooker 1 during a violent crime, causing malicious destruction of property, pressure cooker bomb 1 discharge, pressure cooker bomb 1 destructive device, causing the murder of Crystal Campbell, guilty.
Count 14, malicious destruction of property with pressure cooker bomb 2 at the Forum restaurant, caused personal injury to at least one person, caused the death of Lindsay Liu, caused the death of Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 15, defendant carrying pressure cooker bomb in a crime, violence, malicious destruction of property at the Forum restaurant. The pressure cooker number 2 was discharged. It was a destructive device, causing the death of Lindsay Liu and Martin Richard, guilty.
Count 16, used and carried a Ruger 95 during a violent crime on April 18th, 2013. The Ruger was discharged. The defendant caused murder of Sean Collier, aiding and abetting, guilty.
Count 17, the use of the Ruger during a violent crime, conspiracy, bomb, public place, aiding and abetting. The Ruger was discharged, causing the death of Sean Collier. Death was murder, guilty.
Count 18, use of Ruger during violent crime, conspiracy, destroy property, aiding and abetting. The Ruger was discharged, caused the murder of Sean Collier, guilty.
Count 19, carjacking, aiding and abetting, causing serious bodily injury to Officer Dick Donahue, and that one is guilty.
Count 20, defendant used the Ruger during a violent crime, a carjacking, aiding and abetting. The Ruger was brandished, guilty.
I want to go back to count 19. Dick Donahue just tweeted 3 minutes ago, the accused, convicted across the board. They're watching. They are watching, and this has had a powerful impact on everybody. Count number 20, defendant using the Ruger during a violent crime, carjacking, aiding and abetting, guilty.
Count 21, interference with commerce by threats of violence, guilty.
Count 22, used Ruger during crime of violence, interference with commerce by threats of violence. Ruger was brandished, guilty.
Count 23, use of weapon of mass destruction. That would be pressure cooker number 3, aiding and abetting, guilty.
Count 24, use of Ruger and pressure cooker number 3 during a crime of violence, use of weapons of mass destruction, use of a Ruger, use of a pressure cooker bomb number 3. Ruger was discharged, guilty.
Count 25, use of weapon of mass destruction, pipe bomb 1 during Watertown shootout, aiding and abetting, guilty.
Our Gail Waterhouse, by the way, inside that courtroom, reporting to us that Tsarnaev remains stoic, looking at a judge as he speaks, and jurors rubs his chin briefly, scratches his head. Count 26, defendant carrying, using that Ruger, pipe bomb 1 during violent crime, use of weapons of mass destruction, use of that Ruger, the pipe bomb, the Ruger was discharged, pipe bomb 1 is a destructive device, guilty.
Gail Waterhouse also tweeting, Tsarnaev shrugs his shoulders slightly as Judy Clark leans over to talk to him. Let's go to count 27 now. Use of weapon of mass destruction, pipe bomb 2, Watertown shootout, guilty.
Count number 28, used Ruger, pipe bomb 2 during violent crime, use of weapons of mass destruction, use the Ruger, use the pipe bomb number 2, the Ruger discharge, pipe 2 discharge, pipe 2 destructive device, guilty.
Count 29, use of weapon of mass destruction, pipe bomb 3 at Watertown shootout, guilty.
And count number 30, the use of the Ruger, pipe bomb 3 during a violent, use of weapons of mass destruction, aiding and abetting, use of the Ruger, use of the pipe bomb 3 brandished, the Ruger discharge, pipe bomb 3 destructive device, guilty. Guilty of all 30 counts against him. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is now moving on to the death penalty phase with this same jury who has endured all of these weeks as part of their civic duty.
And this was a consistent, across-the-board opinion of what happened and what was to be done as far as judging this case. This jury had this case. They looked at it. They started yesterday, finished up about 1:30 this afternoon, said we have a verdict, and as you can see, they were consistent in the way they doled out these counts. All 30 guilty for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
Took them 11 hours to make that decision, Mike Bodad, and a lot of people said, why didn't it come sooner? And some people said,